I'm inside you, Santa Clara. Actually, I'm outside right now. We're gonna go inside now. If you have ever wished you could live at a micro center, apparently in Santa Clara you can. Those are apartments on top of the building. No joke, people live in there. I guess micro center HOA next? Okay, so obviously jokes aside, Micro Center's newest store, Santa Clara, is now open. Also gonna tease Phoenix coming soon. I'm sure many of you have noticed that. So we're gonna take a quick tour. Not a whole lot to show in terms of the design of the store. It's all very much the same design cues they've been doing with all of their newest stores. We've got the knowledge bar, obviously you've got your Apple area, you've got your monitors, everything's separated out into the category of type of product that it is. And I've said it a million times, everything's on display. That's one of the most important things about Micro Center is you get to get hands-on with the product before you buy it. But here's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna take a quick tour around the store, if you guys have never seen one. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put together about a $2,000, $2,500 system or so, kind of targeted towards gaming. I hate to call that a mid-range system, but I guess with today's prices, that kind of is a mid-range system. And we're gonna give it to the knowledge bar, and they're gonna actually go through it, install an OS, and get it all ready to sell. And then that'll just be one of their pre-builts that are available here at the store. So if you guys want the system I'm gonna build, yeah, it'll be available here. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a tour. So the layout of the store is pretty similar to all the other stores. I mean, one of the first things you see here other than the knowledge bar is going to be the Apple area. So this section over here is where all the monitors and pre-built and laptops are on display. All the brands you'd expect, like, you know, Asus, HP Omen, Dell, Alienware, Lenovo, MSI, Asus, like all the major brands, Acer and Predator and all of them. But if you aren't aware, Micro Center does have their own in-house built PCs as well, known as PowerSpec, which is funny because if you watched our video showing the old school ads from back in like the 80s, PowerSpec PCs were a thing even way back then. So yeah, I mean, anything, if you're just looking to come in and buy something and walk out with it pre-built, they've got a huge section kind of covering all of the price points for that. You know, if I'm ever gonna be considered a legit operation, I need one of these. Imagine if like, because we have parts all over the place that go into rigs and stuff, and then we write a note on the box that's like, hey, where is this part? Would you imagine if we like scan the barcode and then we create a barcode for the build and we scan the build and then we look at our inventory sheet and it's like, these parts are in this build? That's never gonna happen. Oh, brother. But no, printers, I got printers. I want a 100-inch 4K, 120 hertz gaming panel. Can you imagine playing Rocket League on this? Okay, fun aside, I know a lot of you guys really don't care about this stuff. You guys care about the BYOC, or wait, BYO, build your own computer. First, we have to play with the filament wall real quick, and then we'll go check out all the PC parts. And crazy part is, there is a lot in stock right now. They actually have a pretty impressive tool section. Like things I'm gonna need, although I have most of these tools already though, like fluke multimeters, clamp meters, probes. This is the industrial label printer. Oh, Nick would lose his shit right now. He is obsessed with label printers. In an industrial one on top of that, I could see him making me spend 230 bucks on one. $400 for this one, the Label Works Epson. Maybe the labels would stick to stuff if we used one of those. All right, let's get to the computer parts. All right, so we need to pick a case for this system. I don't want to go anything too crazy. Actually, you know, this kind of looks nice, the Montec XR wood. So it's just got these little wood accents right here. I don't think we've reviewed, like we haven't received this case ourselves yet. They do have a black one. I think this is gonna be an awesome chassis price point, so we're not spending too much money on our case to cut into our fairly restricted budget for today's prices. So the layout in this store is a little different because it's on the smaller side for some of the Micro Center stores. This one, I believe, is a little over 40,000 square feet. I think Miami might actually be one of the smallest. But anyway, so things are kind of backwards. For instance, we have our cases and then we have some of our random like case accessories and stuff here, NASs, and then power supplies. A couple of end cap motherboards are just showing right here. And then you can see motherboard starts here and kind of wraps around. So in terms of platform, I think we're gonna probably obviously have to go AMD to stick within our price point. It's just kind of been the norm these days, is going with the AMD type of gaming rig, but we'll have to maybe see what kind of bundles we got. That's where we gotta start, bundles. This is actually kind of crazy. ARC B580s in stock. When's the last time we saw these in stock? We got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least that are out on display. But the ARC B580 is gonna be a little bit under spec for the price that we have available to us. But if you're shopping in like the $300, $350 price point, this is gonna be an amazing card versus even the 9060 XT or the regular 9060. Obviously better than a 5060, we know that. So it's just nice to see that there's some in stock. They've been out of stock forever. Okay, so shopping for AMD bundles, we can definitely get a 9800X3D to fit in this just fine. So $649, 9800X3D with an Asus B650 TUF and 32 gigs of Flare X5, or for an additional $50, we can upgrade the motherboard to for $699 to an X670E MAG Tomahawk. I'm gonna go ahead and bundle that now. Let's go ahead and figure out our GPU. That should be the next thing. And I usually say the GPU should be about a third of your budget, like by itself. So a third of, let's say 2250, because I was given a budget of 2000. I'm gonna stretch it to 2500 because it's Micro Center's money. And so that's gonna give us realistically more than $1,000 to spend on almost $1,000 to spend on a GPU. I think we can make that work just fine, actually. Let's see what we got for AMD and I guess NVIDIA GPUs. Intel's unfortunately not got anything fast enough for this price point as far as I'm concerned. But if you're shopping for like a $1,500 or less system, I would highly recommend the B580. Okay, so if we're gonna have to stick to $1,000 or less, we really are shoehorned into a couple of options. We've got 9070 XT, and making this an all AMD rig would be kind of nice. It just sort of sucks because I feel like that's the cookie cutter combo these days, but that's the way it is for a reason. But on the NVIDIA side, that means we're sticking to a 5070 Ti, and we know how 9070 XT performs to a 5070 Ti. Now, yes, there are ecosystem advantages to either when you talk about going with NVIDIA and their NVENC encoder, and obviously they've got kind of an RT advantage. But I think most people, if they're shopping in this category and they're stuck with this price point, I think overall, personally, 9070 XT is still going to be the better buy. Now, we have quite a price range between 9070 XTs. So we've got the, this is the exact one we reviewed actually, the Quicksilver Pro Gaming 16 gigabyte card at 850. We've got the Sapphire Pulse at 850. This is I actually really like this one. This is the one we showed that has the 12 volt high power connector. Before you freak out, this card will never draw enough power to ever be a problem for that connector. It's really a 90 series NVIDIA card problem. But this had I thought the design on this card was really cool. Now the downside is if we go with that white case, this is a gray card. But it's still really cool and unique, so I'd probably go with a black case for this. In terms of other pricing here, we've got for $850 the Hellhound in white, so that could potentially work. So we've got just the standard gigabyte card up here, $729 though. So we're talking $130 price premium going with some of these other brands. We got the Asus TUF over here, which is a neat looking card, but I'm sure that's gonna have the Asus tax on there big time. This is why I like to do these types of videos, because it really puts you in that buyer perspective of, I mean, let's face it, being a PC building YouTuber, it's nice to be able to go into a store and they just be like, yeah, get whatever you want, it doesn't matter. And so of course you're just gonna be like, okay, sort by highest price, but you can't do that as a typical consumer. And you start to make these choices like, and I've preached over and over and over, it's not worth it to spend premium money on a card that's like got $150 markup on it versus like a base model card. But the thing is, there's no higher tier card. $729 is the cheapest one. Then there's a $779, which is the Swift, the black one, $799 for the white Swift, and then $799 for the TUF. So we'll grab that TUF card eventually when we have somebody helping us, because right now we have nobody helping us. Although we do have an avocado phone case. My kid's obsessed with avocados, and so is my wife. I need assistance. Okay, so here's where we're at. We've got our bundle, our 9800X3D, our X670E MSI motherboard, MSI motherboard, 32 gigabytes of G.Skill 6000 megatransfers RAM, and our 9070 XT TUF for $799. Our cart is at $1,500 exactly. That leaves us $1,000 to do case, power supply, storage, and that's it. That's easy to do. 5070 XT is just, there's no point in getting that over the 9070 XT, but I don't think 5080 is gonna be in the price point. Those are all like $1,000 MSRP. They're all going for like $1,500 to $2,000. There's no way that's gonna be affordable. Okay, so the cheapest 5080 they have in stock right now is $1,399. It's the Zotac Solid. Yeah, that's not even close to working if I wanted to stretch the budget, because that puts it to $2,100 with the bundle and the card only, and that leaves us $400 for storage, cooler, case, and power supply. That's just not going to be enough. So now we don't have to cheap out on like the type of drive. We can go with a nice Gen 5 drive because we have a Gen 5 board that will support 16x to the graphics card and still full Gen 5 lanes for the NVMe because we're on AM5. We don't have to find some basic little air cooler. We could go with an AIO or something nice like an LCD AIO or like the Trix. So now that we know our core specs, we can go pick a power supply. Okay, so I'm probably gonna go with a Seasonic 1000 watt. I'm not gonna go with a Platinum. That's just too much of a price premium. Looks like we can actually get a Seasonic 1000 watt for $199. They do have cheaper 1000 watts, like the NZXT C1000 164. We got the MSI MPG 1000 for $159. Actually, I think I'm gonna go with that one, to be honest. I think we're gonna go with that. To save 40 bucks over the Seasonic, and we've used the MSI MPG power supplies in the last few builds and actually had really good results with it, and it's a gold rated power supply. So let's add that to the cart now. That was a 159 PSU. Let's go ahead and pick a cooler next. We're at $1659. We got so much available to us. This is definitely an expensive cooler, but I'm going with it because I love the Trix or Tri-X, however you pronounce it, the screen. I love the screen. We built with this once already, ironically at the Tustin store for the 5090 launch. It's $309. I'm gonna throw this in here right now. If it causes us any problems budget-wise, we'll change it, but I'm a sucker for screens. Y'all know that. So we've been using SK Hynix the last couple of builds, actually really liking them. $179 for a 2 terabyte NVMe, I think that's a Gen 5. Is that a Gen 5 drive? No, it's a Gen 4, but it's 2 terabytes. Oh, and it's on sale, $139.99 instead of $179. I don't think we need to honestly go with a Gen 5 drive for this. That's gonna really push up the price. I'll just verify that there's no Gen 5 drives in 2 terabyte that are available.
Right next to it.
Yeah, but look at the price. Oh, that's on sale for $249. The SK Hynix Platinum P51 2 terabyte 3D TLC NAND PCIe Gen 5 by 4, $250. Okay, I'm gonna add that to the cart. I haven't put the cooler in the cart yet. I need to do that. Oh, the Panorama's on sale for $279. That's better than the $309 or whatever we saw. That's still not a great price for a cooler, but you're paying for the screen mostly. Okay, so we have two versions of the Montech XR. We have the XR wood, which I showed, and then we have the XR tempered glass. They're both tempered glass, but the non-wood. They're both $69.99. So the non-wood is $69.99 normal price. The wood version is $79.99 normal price, but they have one in stock at $69.99. All right, so we're gonna go with the King 95 Pro. This is a dual chamber case. It's nearly twice the price, but it's a bit more premium feeling. It's got the curved glass. It's got a lot of edge lighting inside the chassis. Fully outfitted with fans already. So it's got two of the like 140s on the side right there. It's got the 120 exhaust in the back. It's also got, if you can see, the 3 intakes on the bottom. That's a lot of fans that come pre-installed. I think we're gonna stick with the Montech because I still feel like Montech gives us some of the best value and for the price. Yeah, there it is.
Value.
It's almost like they paid me to say that, but they didn't. right, there we go. So it's all built, put together, everything's showing up, all 32 gigs of RAM, no expo or anything applied yet. Cooler is keeping our CPU at 35C, so I know the pump is running, I know the fans are turning. Yeah, so the cable management on this one was actually, I took more time on it than I normally would, because since this is a system that's going to be for sale here at the store, I had to make sure that it at least, you know, had a better standard than I normally do for my own systems. But now we're going to hand it over to the knowledge bar. They're going to go through, make sure all the BIOS is updated. They're going to install the Windows, make sure all the drivers and everything are installed. That way, whoever purchases the system is going to have a fully, you know, updated and ready to go gaming rig that is literally going to be one of the best that you can build today for a reasonable price. So 9070 XT, 32 gigs of 6,000 mega transfers RAM, CL36. We've got obviously the 360 Trix cooler in there, the 9070 XT tough, which I was wondering if it was going to be a 12 volt high power connector or not, but it's not. It's 3 8-pin PCI Express, 1000 watt power supply, which gives us room to grow the power of the graphics card in the future. Plenty of cooling with the Montech King 95 Pro, 3 120 millimeter reverse blade fans on the bottom for intakes directly on the GPU, 2 more 140 reverse blade on the back wall here to bring in fresh air, and then obviously we have an exhaust fan on the rear and 3 exhausts on the top for our AIO. And don't forget that Platinum P51 SK Hynix 2 terabyte Gen 5 drive in there. So it's got all the bells and checked when it comes to, or all the boxes checked when it comes to being an amazing gaming PC. So there you go. If you guys are interested in this PC, it's going to be here at the Micro Center store, the brand new one, the return to Santa Clara. But it's only going to be exciting for a little bit because Phoenix is right around the corner. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.